So when I was thinking about this group, young theosophists, and about this world, the moment what we are living now, that we have huge challenges at the moment. And they are so-called wicked problems. It means complicated, no easy way to solve them. We need a lot of different skills and a lot of different kind of people to be able to solve them. And well, this is my own thinking, but also my today's lecture is based on the Samdang Rinpoche's speech here in Finland. He was speaking about the 4 challenges of mankind at the moment. And His Eminence Professor Samdang Rinpoche was, for example, once minister for Dalai Lama. And I should say that for me, he's one of these very respectful people, not because of so much what he's saying, but his all appearance was that I have the deep faith what he's saying. So my first slides are really good, and the last ones are very poor with the appearance. Sorry for that. But he's saying that the 4 great challenges of humanity, they can be faced in the same way as any kind of problems. So we need to follow the Buddha's way to how he approached to the problems, that he was studying the truth of suffering, and when it's found out the cause of the suffering, now I did something.
You don't have to worry about this one.
But I want to see myself. Okay, thank you. And only when we see the truth of cause of the suffering, we can do the cessations, some solving for the suffering. And there is always the path leading to solving the suffering. So that's like even in this very difficult times, what we need is to have that belief that it's possible to solve. Without that belief, we can't. We lose our energy. We get dark in our minds. So this last one, that we have the belief that it's possible, that we have to have. All those who are doing this, doing great things, they have this. They might not even think about it. They have it. The problems of our mankind. Sorry. He says that the path to solve it is that same as Buddha's teachings, and we need to have this very careful study. What it is, whatever is the problem, violence, environmental issue, some conflicts, we need to study it very carefully, and only then we can find the ways. And he was referring to this Noble Eightfold Path there is first the wisdom, prajna, which was like a right view, right resolve also. So this is connected with those basic skills what Buddhists, for example, practice. Then you have to carry out things. There you need this shila, the moral aspect, to all kind of actions you have, to the right speech, right conduct, right livelihood. So when you have the basement well done, then you can go deeper. And there you have this right effort. That right effort is sometimes connected with this moral aspect, but I think it's better to connect it with this samadhi meditation, which is more going deeper. So when there is a huge need for solution, a real like a aching, the heart is aching for the problem, whatever it is, then you have the energy, and you are able to do the right effort. You need to have that feeling the emergence. Otherwise, you are not having the energy to really go deep there. And right mindfulness is needed. That's a calm type of mind who is able to observe very carefully, without those that ego is, for example, it's able to study it carefully. And my right concentration is the last one. Sorry, it was not here. Concentration, because only when you get that kind of energy and that you really go towards the matter, and then as we know how our mind works, or not how actually our consciousness works, that you go deeper to the subject, and then you are like letting go whatever you think you understood about it, and you are still having the deep interest, then our consciousness is opening up in the next level. You are using the laya channel, which is in the middle of all the consciousness, and it's opening up on next level, and you understand it differently. But you need that effort first and energy. And then you might find something new about it. So he suggested that the main problem is in our world is materialism. It's in many ways. Its wealth is not shared well. We are misusing our nature, and that also creates violence. We are fighting for the resources. Either it's water, land, or place to protect our country. And then that's why we have also intolerance between cultures and religions. If the others are saying that don't come to take our land, then it's of course a bit problematic to the world. The evening news, I'm watching our main news every evening. It's a very good, how do I say, it's showing all these problems every time. What is said, and which I do believe, even when it's not that visible, there are main good forces. And they are discovered from time to time. They are used from time to time. And they are this non-violent way to act. It's not easy. because it's not often the natural one for us. And then there is this loving kindness, it's possible, compassion, and positive activity. We are human beings, and we have this possibility to act. When we are dead ones, like in our last night game, when we are dead ones, we can't contact the living people. So only while we are alive, we can act. So it doesn't matter how unskilled or little we feel ourselves. This is the time to be active, whatever we can. Tomorrow I will speak a little bit more about what is my experience to be a change maker. So it's a little bit different path. It's a special path, but this activity is needed. And that's why we are here. I believe that we share all this belief and understanding that there are possibilities, even when we have these huge, wicked problems. If we know even a small thing, how we can improve situation. What I have felt, we need to try. I don't want to go to grave thinking that, oh, perhaps I should have tried this. Oh dear, there might have been a possibility over there and I didn't use it. I long time ago, I decided that I will be active, and if I'm failing, it's all right. Some things are worth of failing. And that's when you concentrate to those things which matter for you, which matter for the others. Even if you fail, you have reached something. At least you have tried. Materialism, it was very interesting to read from Samdang Rinpoche that actually industrialism created, in a way, materialism. That was also the time when Theosophy was put into the world. All the machines were able to produce a lot of things quicker and actually more than what we need. So then there came this salesman, advertising, all this kind of buy more. You need that one also, and as we know that there is a biggest amount of psychological research is done for advertisements, that they will catch us. You feel yourself a little bit little, do this, buy that one, and so on. So, we have somehow made us a very small ones. It's just like what you have reached, what you own, for example. I am a daughter of a father who was thinking that the main subject is to get a good job and to buy a flat and so on. So it was that kind of world which I felt that I'd rather die than just to have that kind of life, that there is nothing else except those practical, physical things. And this that one is respected in one's society because she has this one, she's in that profession or something like that. So it's a well shared this materialism. And of course, the belief into science became at the same time as we studied more this materialism, and we discovered many things. But even that, if we have this very, how can I say, limited picture of a man, we are using it in a wrong way. And Mahatma Gandhi was once saying, I think this is beautiful to remember, Mother Earth is able to satisfy the needs of every living being. But the entire planet cannot satisfy the greed of one person. Nearly every evening news are telling me this. Well, there's coming just one name in my mind about it. So the greed is, which is very natural to a human being. All the animals have some greed as well, but it's like we have increased it to enormous spheres. So, and the truth is that if we consume according to our needs, the resources are almost endless. I have made an experiment with this, that what could be the amount of money which I could live with. And it's surprisingly low. And I have done it for years now. Perhaps because I partly need it, but also partly because I choose. So it surprised me. And I'm really honestly thinking that perhaps that could be shared also. That we don't, for example, to my husband, I'm saying that, well, perhaps you don't need the new car. You are getting old. Perhaps this car could be used for the rest of your life. Why to buy a new one and make a new loans and so on? And there's no problem with that car. It's a good one. It works well. So there are many those things which we can do better. That, for example, also we have discussed about owning the property. In Finland, we have often the need for summer cottage. Not only the house, of the summer cottage somewhere. And we both were thinking about having the cottage. In a way, it's nice to be in the nature and so on. But then we realized that needs a lot of work over there. Maintaining, money, traveling. And so many people, many families feel that summer cottage is like a burden. Workplace, another that you are there like a slave of that. And he's saying often that actually people are also the slaves of their property. So it's not only that we get something, we are also serving the property, whatever it is. As you know, bigger house, more cleaning, more maintaining, and so on. So we could reduce what we are using, what we are buying, and thinking about how to perhaps share it better. And someone in Rinpoche is saying that he's combining this purity of mind and promotion of environmental well-being. that was a little bit surprising connection for me, that our mind needs to be unpolluted, and we need to take care that there are not like negative thoughts, anger, hatred, jealousy, which are reducing energy, which are like bringing or making a jail to us. If you are angry with someone, you are seeing that one very strongly and like attacking all the time in your mind. And that's already, you are not free at the moment. Neither you are free to act. So, and he's saying that purity of mind helps us to really take care of our environment in every way, on every step, because we are doing actually, I think, only small things during everyday life. They are all small steps, even when we somewhere from outside it looks big, but it's only small steps actually. And if we are aware of these, all the steps, we are able to choose in that way that it's unpolluting. Yeah. I think we will discuss about this later on, then perhaps in the groups or all together. Let's see. Then violence. Again, the evening news. Our news, main news are coming in the evenings. And we create, with this violence, we create more violence and all the other problems. There is a war, terrorism, and also this structural violence. More powerful countries are commanding the minor ones, trying to take land even. And nowadays, the investments are done also to this violence business, and it's a very profitable business. So if you want to invest and have a good profit, there is the direction. But it also, I have noticed that there are also these studies that in a way, it's the same with the industrialism. When there are a lot of weapons, there are a lot of different kind of like a business around it. They are not eager to put the wars down. They are actually only speaking about this, how to be more effective, how to do this or do that. So it's a trap too. Not easy. And when the problem of violence and wars, Samdang Rinpoche is suggesting that we should develop a compassionate mind, especially compassion for those people who indulge in violence and cause wars. That has been for me, a great practice. There comes again one name, and how I could be compassionate about him. These actions of these people must be condemned, but these people themselves must be cared for, says Samdang Rinpoche. they must be healed through loving kindness. That's why there has been a meditation groups which meditate very strongly about the leaders and somehow wishing them all the good and in that way sharing love with them. Perhaps in my point of view, trying to reach their hearts. They have heart. About one person, I'm a bit suspicious, but at least the others. There is a corners in their hearts where the love is, and like how to make that corner bigger, stronger, that they could for a second or for a moment think from the other side the problem. So it's an old tradition, at least in Finland, to pray for the leaders. But now the whole world is our world, our country. So we could pray for all the leaders of the world. And what is said, and I do believe it, by Buddhists, only love and kindness can. In the end, only love and kindness. In Theosophy, we have this claim that we all develop. All our souls are developing. There are very, very few exceptions. If one is choosing so stiff a way just to think about himself or herself, that it goes to that kind of direction that that person can't cooperate with anyone anymore. He can only, he or she can only, how do I say, collect for herself, for himself. And in that case, there is not like no loving connection to anyone, anything. Then what it is, atoms, the system is that it has to be put it into the beginning. The atoms are again going freely, and the energy is getting back to the whole thing. So the soul is in a way came to the point where it can't stay anymore. But there are very, very few ones. Even the worst kind of people, in the case, there is some kind of love in the corner of their hearts. They have a path to come togetherness, to be connected with all the others. So that corner, if there exists, that's something that we can reach with our good wishes. Then he points out this intolerance, which is true with the religions and true with the, for example, national feelings, sports groups, the Switch and Finnish were fighting in ice hockey, and Finnish ones won the master of the world in ice hockey. And Well, my husband is very keen about sports, so we were watching the sports late night, and when we were seeing the Swiss people there after that result, they were all like this. Some men were really crying, and well, my husband said, "Well, it should have gone actually a different way. We have won this mastery before. Swiss never. Actually, we should have given it to them, but that happens, and we often." Like my husband is laughing at me. Yes, sitting next to me on our sofa. Yes, we Finns won, and that's it, just in our life, and that's just shows how we connect with the different kind of bubbles, illusions, and yeah. And that's something which is difficult if we feel that someone is different, separate, dresses a different way. So it's already somehow a problem for us, and especially when we live in small places or within a small country, we often think that our way to solve things is the good one, and the others are somehow wrong. That why they don't understand that there is a clever way, our way. And then when I traveled to India, stayed there for some time, altogether nearly 2 years, and got to know Indians. For example, I went to India. I was young one then, and I was thinking that, oh Jesus, can it be really so that the parents are choosing the whom you should marry, when you should marry, and so on? That it's I can't understand such kind of thing. And when I studied there, I was really discussing with the people and making my observations. First of all, the young men saying, why do you want that trouble to find your maid yourself? Why not to say to your parents that I want this one and that kind of and that kind of, and they will bring me perhaps 3 choices, and I can select what I want. Honestly, they felt that this way was far more comfortable. And then when I saw the couples, I understood that happiness can be found in that way too. It doesn't matter in which way you find your companion. It's the how you deal then afterwards.
I happen to know a lady whose daughter said that she doesn't want to marry. And before I came here, she was very happy because the daughter finally gave her a permission to find a good companion for him. So she was, she knew that she had a lot of work to find proper ones where she could choose from. They're taking it very seriously, but they take into consideration the children, what they want, as long as I understand.
Yeah, it's yes, they consider, but for example, there can be the cases that the eldest should be getting married first, and if he doesn't want to, then the next one. But then there were several children after that, and then the eldest must get married because the rest ones need to get married as well, and it should go in an order. So there are different kind of rules and traditions. Yeah, it's not easy our system to choose ourselves, to test ourselves, is not easy either, as we know. Yeah. So intolerance between cultures and religions is suggested that first of all, practice your own religion as good as you can in your mind. Samdro Rinpoche said, in your mind. It means you need not to carry the outer marks of your religion. You need not to, for example, as the Buddhist way to really bow down in front of your teacher. That is not necessary. But in your mind, to be as good Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, that's important. So it's Samdro Rinpoche is saying that when the religions or the groups combined, they become institutions. And the institutions are fighting against each other, more or less. But the true religion ones, as we know, Dalai Lama can speak with nearly any kind of leader who is pure in heart. And they find very, very much things in common. And that's something, that kind of a connection we can always find. And only then we have no need to fight against of the other religion. Now in Europe, for example, because of the works of Israel, the Jews in London are attacked. So one can see very clearly that this attitude creates problems. And what is not easy, he is saying the best way to reduce religious intolerance and to bring harmony between different religions is to practice and live out your everyday life and mind. And to, how can I say, get to know each other. There have been good results that even if you know a little bit your neighbor who is different, living in a Christian country or non-religious country, which is also true in Finland, that, for example, if there is a Muslim and I get to know about my neighbor a little bit, and, for example, we can talk about children or whatsoever, even when she's dressed up in a completely different way, there's already found some shared basement, and that is carrying us. I was in India when Indira Gandhi was killed, and she was killed by Sikhs, his own guardians, Sikh guardians. And of course, Hindus and Sikhs were then in a real violent connection. And those who had, I was there in Delhi, and those who had, for example, Sikh friends, Hindus were hiding them if they happened to be like a family friends or servants. And so whenever there is like a human connection between people, they were protecting each other, not fighting. And at that time, there was killing going on, killings going on. I later on I visited a refugee camp. The Sikhs who were very hardworking people and often owned a taxi or scooter and business people because they appreciated hard work. Hindus didn't appreciate hard working. They were thinking that hard working is a stupid thing. They were more for philosophy and religion and so on. So Sikhs were living among each other, and what Hindus, these peaceful Hindus, were doing is that they collected from the nearby villages young men to go after these Sikhs, and the vehicles were burnt, the shops were burnt, the women were raped, and if possible, men were killed, boys and men. So that's what happened at that time. So it's possible, and we all have our knowledge of our country's history. We have been in wars and so on, and we can relate easily to these kind of situations, that it's very near us, not far, near. But for example, when Russia attacked Ukraine, all of the Finns were really alert, because also we have our own history with Russia, and we had to fight it very hard back to be able to
have independence.
Yeah, for independence, to resist that kind of. And we still have, how do I say, some very fixed thoughts about how Russians are. But as well as you know, every country has a jokes about their neighbor countries, next and next, and all the jokes are that if there are three people from different countries, who is the most clever one? Of course, the one who were used there and all the others. So it's not far from us, and that's something we need to consider. Okay. Yeah, this was the fourth, like a basket, and it's important that we don't give only beautiful speeches, but we walk our talk. We need to practice and perhaps learn how to do it. I'm in a small town nowadays. I used to live around Helsinki most of my life, but now I'm living in a small town, and it's not easy to bring the new type of people. It's there are a lot of people, thankfully, I know some of them, who are trying to make the connections, and it doesn't matter actually which kind of connections. It can be baking together, for example, or letting the children to play together, or sharing some sports. Just to, like a little bit getting to know, and after that we can discuss about the more difficult issues as well. And that's same with, for example, our refugees. We have received some refugees from Syria, from Ukraine, from different world, and it's a long time to getting to know each other's and understand each other's customs. It's a very long way. It's not easy, And there have been, for example, the families from Syria that they come from a refugee camp, and then there are 4 children, 3 girls and 1 boy. And when one of the girls is choosing independent life, the mother is shocked, absolutely shocked, and somehow she's not my daughter, acting like that. So it's a long way, and we need a lot of patience. We need a lot of understanding. Okay, 4 issues. How we shall proceed now?
We have a time for maybe questions and answers.
Maybe, but it can be also that the questions and answers to ourselves, not to me. I'm the one who has all the answers. But yes.
Can you show them?
Yeah, sure. I'll find it. Here. The main problem is materialism. That's the basis. And this is something where I feel that Theosophy has at least helped me a lot, giving me the understanding that it's not useful to fight, for example, with my father. He's going to understand my point of view someday. That's my belief. But it's, yeah, it's wealth is not shared well. And what we know, misusing the nature. For example, in that small city of mine, the birds are, I think they are only 10% now from that what they were 6 years ago. It's incredibly quick change. And creating violence, we need to open only the news. And this intolerance between cultures and religions. So these are all over the world. The same basic problems. Yeah. So now the lead is yours.
These 4 problems were supported.
Samdang manufacture, yes. A Buddhist professor leading some monastery schools nowadays.
I'm thinking what we actually could do. Like if the wealth is not well shared, I cannot share others like wealth, and like the misusing the nature. Like yesterday we were here and there was like one part, and Diana very nicely said, "This is his home. We are the intruders who are just coming here. So if we encounter an animal crossing a street, actually the street is crossing their home, not the other way around. So, but what can we do? I mean, we can like see it and understand it, that they have the same right to be, but we cannot reshare the wealth that is not, legally ours. So we are not Robin Hood.
We could.
I don't think that's the point of this.
I think communistic movement already
Tried
to take the money from the rich and share it with the people the way they did it, and please that thing. So yes, maybe the wealth should be redistributed. Like currently, we know that there are like a few billionaires who own actually they have. If we think of Elon Musk, for instance, he has more money than the Finnish annual budget. So who does give that much money? And so and then there was a saying from Plato that ideal society, the difference between people's income shouldn't be that high. So the person with the highest income, the maximum should be like 4 times higher than with the person who's basically the lowest.
That's a very interesting.
To maximize everyone's well-being.
To maximize the functionality of the society.
Yeah, that's at all.
To make it more higher.
So the client and the professor of the head of the company.
So I've been doing Erja talk was quite well in line with my previous talks. So yesterday I was talking about how we can use our thought power. We cannot fool anyone. But I have been sending like good thoughts to Elon Musk, for instance, that how I try to keep it very like open mind and not to not to force my ideas to Elon. But the idea that I was trying to give was that there's light inside him to create like shine on fire. And maybe like sending good thoughts, some billionaires would like to change their behavior. And then we have like other examples like Bill Gates, for instance, who has he's still a billionaire, but he has donated like most of his wealth.
So
What was your question?
I had a question from institutions. You mentioned institutions and how the pure religions they become institutions, then they start fighting each other. And like just the mechanism how humans work. But I would like to do good in the world to make some change, but I feel like I don't want to join any institution. Like Jan said about the failure of the communists when they tried to this good cause, but they failed in the end. I feel like one of the reasons for failure was that they became such a strong group in such a strong institution, such rigid rules, and such authoritarian leaders, such blind obedience, and like such mass hysteria, like all the animal sides of humans kick in when the group becomes hysteric like that and very institutionalized. So this is the paradox. I want to make a big change, and to do a big change, I need people. But I don't want to join the group that is already an institution in order for myself to have my own mental clarity and not just join blindly someone. How have you resolved this?
Being individual, even in an institution like Theosophical Society, it's you have to stand on your own feet, and you have to study yourself and find the solutions yourself. even when you are getting perhaps some help from the institution. For example, I have got a lot of help from Theosophical Society, from the books, from the lectures, from the really fine people who I have met in this society. But I don't consider Theosophical Society as an institution. For me, it's not an institution. If I'm saying that, yes, I support Theosophy, it's not against someone else. For example, I have met really lovely Christians, even priests. I'm from the family who were like free thinkers, no religion. And I had something against of Christianity because I don't know, I somehow didn't buy these stories. But I have got to know really fantastic Christians which are doing really beautiful jobs. So I can connect with different kind of people. It depends how they act. And there are priests which are not accepted by these institutions. So one can be individual even in an institution. Of course, you will get some problems out of it, but you can manage. Standing on your own feet, how would I say it? Saying things, how you see them, what feels right or wrong. That kind of skill you need to develop. Sometimes you are for some time wrong, but then if you discover that you have been wrong, then you have to change your opinion. It's not fixed. It's not that what if you choose once, you're gonna be the rest of your life that way. It's all like a learning process. That's what I found. It's a learning process. Yeah,
I think it is very, very nicely said that you are not fixed. If you made the one choice in your early life, you can change it. Because like if you look at the computers in 20 years, how much it has developed. And in next 20 years, who knows where we get. People have to make different decisions during their life because they're forced to. It wasn't there like hundreds of years. We were living kind of, if I can say, in a simple life, more simple. It right now, looking back, based on what I know, it looks like that. But now we have so many possibilities. And yesterday we were discussing also, we have almost 8 billion people incarnated right now. Previously, 100 years ago, it was 1 billion. And it's predicted that next 100 years, it will be back about 1 billion. But that moment, we have so many people, and most of the people can read. Never in the history it has been that most of the population, I think in Finland and Estonia, is almost 99% of the grown-up people who have the possibility to read. I don't talk about the full education, but the possibility to, to read. So this is a very special time, and like for a development sense. So you have to be like flexible to live in it and understand, even if we have been in more fixed societies before, now almost everybody, the environment around like is expecting you to, go with that if you don't want to get stuck.
Yeah, and one thing what I think that we need to be aware is any kind of fundamentalism. Even if it's for a good reason from our point of view. To be really fundamental, that only this way, that rings me alarm bells already. If there is like only one choice, then I find now I have to be alert.
And I feel Theosophy is like something that offers this possibility to, it is said there's no dogmas, and you can be in any religion as long as you agree with the objects, and like this, like the freedom to be, and yet to find like together something different. I feel it is Theosophy, and also the freedom that different lodges around the world can have their own way of study, their own curriculum, as long as it supports the main aims. I think this is like one of the strong points. In some cases, it's also a weak point, but mostly this flexibility of freedom is something that is needed, because then the individuals can like make a choice, and this is something for me. And
And we need the diversity. We absolutely need. For example, I'm really stupid with this computer matters. I'm so thankful that somebody has studied such a dull subject like how to make computers to work. And I've been in business, and I'm really thankful for all those bookkeepers who are keeping the accounts clear and making even some statistics out of it. And there are so many things. For example, I would have never been really nurse or making surgery, because that's not my field. I feel too much pain to cut. I mean, to cut even somebody else. So we need the diversity. We need all of us, different kind of people. And of course, somebody is more like a caretaking, somebody is more like pushing forward, perhaps destroying the whole system and so on. We need diversity. Absolutely, we need. Yes.
Yesterday, I had a short discussion. How can we be most useful? I refer to a thought I have got from you, that whenever our deepest desires meet the needs of the world, we can be we are the most beneficial those moments. So I was wondering if you say something about this.
Yeah, that's from Finnish, quite young, about your age, Frank Martela. He has studied engineering to doctor's level and psychology, and he has studied this positive psychology, like happiness and so on. And what he found during all these years, I have followed him for more than 10 years, that yes, there was the boom for happiness, you remember perhaps. And then he studied it further, and he said that more important than happiness for an individual is meaningfulness. And when you find something meaningful, you are able to take a lot of pains for that. It's not, for example, I could say that as a grandfather for children, it's not always so fun to take care of the grandchildren, running here and there and feeding them and taking them for fishing or something like that, and something happens and so on. So he gets tired and so on. But as it's meaningful, he's willing to do it. And it has been a lot of studies that even when people are really, how can I say, working so hard, it's a stressful, meaningfulness gives all the energy which is needed. And it also, meaningfulness gives recovery. Because you can work actually very, very hard if you are able to recover. And meaningfulness is that key to recover. And I think it's connected with our heart and our inner energy and somehow ability to solve things well when you have this meaningfulness with you. And I think that's connected with the heart, meaningfulness. When you are with full heart of yours there. Yes. Nearly anything is possible. I read about studies about, for example, soldiers, German soldiers, which were, of course, on the side of Nazis during the Second World War. And they studied that why the German soldiers were so good in these fightings. They were not because they believed into fascism, but because they were made a group before they were sent to the war. They spent 1 week or two, 1 or 2 weeks together. So they made friendships, they made a group, and they fight for each other, for the group. They saved each other, they helped each other. So that was like their superpower. That's why they were so possible to, that they were heroic, not for Hitler, but for each other. And there are a lot of studies about this, that where your passion is, there you are most skillful. And that is the direction where you are most willing to learn to get better, whatever it is. And that is something which there is no problem for you to do what you love. And if that's something which is useful for the world, really, according to studies, the best happiness comes when you do what you love and you share. But it has to be something what really people want, not that you are pushing up. For example, if I like knitting and I make a lot of socks, the world might not need all the socks which I can do. It might need something else. So it is important to find that connection, what the world needs, from my skills, from your skills.
Comment on that, knitting, such as very close. Producing art and artists, and it has happened often that very significant meaningful work is not necessarily met with enthusiasm during the artist's lifetime, but it has really made a difference for later. So I feel like there are some exceptions to that, but there then has to be this almost illusional sense of meaningfulness of the work.
Perhaps not illusional if the history then shows that has been important. Yeah. Because there are different kind of squares. I mean, it's artists are often connected with the squares which are not visible for the ordinary people. They can be like those inventors and so on, into intuition level, and there they are connected.
There is some weird belief that I don't remember where it came from, but I feel like I'm in much flow with my work, with my everyday syncretism of things, that things start to flow when I do what I said that I connect what I do with what others and I help others in some way. But the ways in which I help can be so widely different. And directly help, like helping a kid in kindergarten, but it can be also symbolic way to help or something. I think it's like, because we get so much out of it ourselves, that is a very major part of it. But the actual way how we work very widely. It's my experience. And it is almost, it's almost magical how it's something I can connect it to some other art or such things problems.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. And then there might be also a different times in your life that somehow you might get also stuck somewhere or something like that, and then you need to, how would I say, make your way out of that. So it doesn't have to be that the whole life is like this. Be happy with your life now.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
It's a good compass, like by gives, but then I can think of like, okay, to make things flow, how can I make this more serving? And then it starts to,
Yeah.
then I get a new perspective on it.
Yeah, and for me, I understand that it's like this, that you have some higher levels open to connect the others.
Like I'm a vessel.
Yeah, and then the intuition, which means that there are these good forces which work through us.
Yes.
They can, if we open the channel for them, for the goods for all of us, and it includes us ourselves. Common good, for common good.
I feel like a lot of Christian traditions have this very well taken out, or at least I have talked to them. They always say like, okay, your God, God's will happen through me, but it doesn't matter in what way or the force saying mechanism is kind of working, and then it takes off the pressure for our own individuality to produce a change. So just yourself.
Yeah.
And then it flows.
It reminds me of the St. Francis prayer, let me be the channel of your peace.
Yeah.
That we say, let not my will be done.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Let not my will be done.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I think it leads to the idea of free will. And in my experience, I think you're able to exercise a greater level of free will if you're exercising the free will of someone else rather than your own free will. And your own free will feels, well, sure, there's a little bit of free will sometimes, but nowhere near as strong as free will from logos will exercise it. So it's a conundrum. Is there such thing as free will? Maybe at the personal level, a little bit. But if you're aligned with the will of the logos, then you feel like, well, there's so much will. It's very cool.
I think Hodgson brought when he talked about how the nature spirits are working, and he explained that they're working like in the players in the orchestra. They're playing a piece, and if you are part of the orchestra and you play, you have the free will to start in the middle of the play something totally different. You have the possibility. Why would you do it? You're all working towards this one thing to bring, and you all have the same vision, and you get what I'm thinking. Like, we will be happiest if we, contribute. If we have understand that this is something precious and beautiful to do, so we contribute to this masterpiece together, and we are only making like a one sound out of this beautiful.
And then when I'm thinking about orchestra, there are always some limits in everything. I mean, that we have bodies, we can't sit forever. We need to eat, we need to sleep, we need to have something else. So it is like there is like a time scheduled for everything, and that needs to be considered. It's a part of this piece of masterpiece of the music, that it has a certain rhythm, it has some like developing like two themes discussing, and then some kind of harmony, and then ending up. So it's not just one, it's actually about the orchestra, the whole music in this world.
You know, each other shapes. Just very decided that the vessels of the Kreivilä. And what was the name of the?
I think it's a peace prayer. I can say it's so beautiful. 1 year in convention time, young Theosophists were singing it to the like in convention time on the stage to others. But we have a program, but that was like the main thing. But it's the first lines are, "Let me be the channel of your peace," and then let me always like give more than receive, but in a beautiful way, and let me always console more than need to be consoled, or yeah, I will find it beautiful.
I think that's one of the core of ideas in Islam as well. You to surrender, not under the concept, to let go.
Hi, sorry to interrupt. I have to go, but thank you so much for letting me join this gathering, and I wish you all very insightful, happy, and cheery days ahead. So see you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And thank you for the talk also. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.